So when you set a goal to fundraise for charities, it does get demoralizing when you get rejection after rejection after rejection. And people are telling you, you got no money because the economy is just failing. And so you have to overcome all this, and you have to overcome this roller coaster of emotions that you get during fundraising. Fear, anxiety, stress, because you just want to do a good job. This has been my life over the past 20 years as a volunteer fundraiser for the community. I'm also an entrepreneur. I run my own business, and you kind of think it could be different. But actually, the lives are very similar. We undergo the same barriers to success, the same roller coaster of emotions. And so when I travel the world through my projects or volunteerism, I get to talk to a lot of people. And I finally realized that it's quite evident that we all go through the same level of emotional roller coaster, fear, anxiety, failure, all of that. And as I learn how people overcome their fears and overcome all their challenges, there's a common thread. One of the common threads is that you have to develop a positive attitude and maintain it. So, you got problems, sir? Don't worry about it. Just be positive. Pretty easy, right? Well, no, if you don't understand what impacts positivity. So there's two things that impact positivity: external factors and internal factors. The external factor is pretty easy. You can't control it. The weather, what people are feeling, bad news, can't control that stuff. But the internal factor is all about you. How are you feeling? Are you at peace with yourself? Are you healthy? Who do you surround yourself with? What is your state of mind? And when you control these factors, you could actually point away all the external factors. So it's all about you. The human body and mind is amazing because, have you guys done this before? You've gone out to a car dealership, you pick a car, and then you choose the brand. The moment you leave, you look around the city, all you see is the car that you're thinking of buying. Is that weird? It's because the brain works in an amazing way. The moment the brain chooses something that it wants and it feels it get a lot of benefit from it, that's all it looks for. So if you want positivity, you got to commit to buying the brand of positivity. There's no refunds. But when you commit to it truly, I guarantee you, you're going to see positivity everywhere, all over the city and all over your own personal life. So where do we start? 3 layers to positivity: outer, inner, and a core. The outer is exercise. The stats say that there's about 30% chance of greater achieving of all the goals you want to accomplish if you're healthier, if you live an exercise regime. And those who don't exercise much obviously don't have as great of a chance, just due to statistics research. And I decided to interview 60 of my friends who I deem as extremely positive people, like really cool people. And it's from a billionaire down to a 14-year-old boy who said to his father, "Dad, you're not going to shovel once this summer." And this guy's like a firecracker. He just says it and he does it. And I really find that very inspiring. And I asked him a few questions about exercise, and I just want to pick individual sports versus team sports. And then I also asked him, rate yourself on how positive you think you are. And the last thing was, rate yourself on work ethics. And so let's click it, there we go. So you look at the personal experience, the experiment that I'm doing here, and I asked them to rate what they think. What did they choose? So 42 out of 60 people said they prefer team sports. And these people rate themselves at a 9.4 in positivity. The individual guys, extremely high too, 8.9, so they're both very positive people. But it's really interesting to see that. And the other thing is that when you look at work ethics, the individual team people had rated themselves higher in work ethics. So exercise is great for the mind, body, focus, energy. You handle stress better. But when you choose what you want to do for exercise, it's also what you do as well impacts you in a different way. And think about it when you're about to embark into your exercises and what you want to do, because it'll help you go in your own way where you could actually start developing that positive attitude. So start exercising. Now you got the external layer. Let's go deep into the internal layer. And I think about sports. I think about athletes. And when you look at a picture of an athlete, what do you see? You see raw strength. You see athleticism. But if you look deep into his eyes, what you see is a soul. And that soul has confidence. That soul is determined not to lose. That soul is full of focus. And where does that come from? It comes from faith, faith in themselves. And that faith is what drives the ability to say, I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to crush this out of the park. And that's what I want everyone in this world to do, is to imagine themselves as an athlete. And every single thing you do in life, to imagine as a game. Like if you're about to write an exam, you picture yourself entering that exam like an athlete, and you look into your own eyes, right into your own soul, and you're going to crush this exam out of the park. And if you're learning, you're going to crush the learning experience out of the park. That's how I love seeing everything I do in life, because I see it as something that I can succeed. So I interviewed 2 hockey teams and a volleyball team back home, and I asked them, how do you maintain your faith? How do you maintain this confidence? And the cool thing is, they said a lot of things, but there's a couple things that were common, and it's their pre-game ritual. Every single one of them had their own pre-game ritual where they sat and they visualized what they looked like, their heartbeat, what they felt. They visualized winning, they visualized succeeding. And so I believe everyone, first turning everything into a little bit of a sport, and you are the star athlete, but we should all come up with our pre-game ritual that's going to get us to that space. Meditate, yoga, some guys just put on headphones and they get into that space. But I guarantee you that when you build this pre-game ritual before every single major goal you have in life, you'll see this faith in yourself just skyrocket. And then as you build this external and the internal layer, we go down to the core. And why is there a core? Positivity is energy. Energy can dissipate. So we've got to prevent dissipation of positivity. And how do you do that? By living life with gratitude. I'm going to explain to you guys with an example. I met a guy about 18 years ago, and really cool kid. And all he did was donate to charity. He was known to donate to the church hospital. And why? He was battling cancer his whole life. And just before his 18th birthday, he was told that he was going to die. And we were all, of course, sad. But he said, no, don't be sad, man. I'm grateful for my life. Let's celebrate my life. So what did we do? Fundraised money, came up with $1,800, and we gave him the money and said, you can't donate this to charity. You got to spend this on yourself. And he said, all right, let's do that. So he threw himself a farewell party, cover charge for drinks and all this other stuff, and he made $2,500 with his party revenue, and he donated that money to charity. So, extremely inspiring, only at 18 years old. And what I learned from this experience is that when you live with gratitude, what you're really doing is you're trying to find things to be thankful for. And we're trying to find things to be thankful for. What you're really trying to find is things that are valuable. And inherent in looking for things that are valuable is opportunity. And these opportunities can take into many different faces. It could be new friends. It could be a solution you're trying to work out at work. It could even be a job. It could be anything. But when you live life with gratitude, it's amazing what opportunity just comes up to you. It's like buying a car. Everywhere you look, you see opportunity. And that drives your level of positive right up. And it helps you overcome a lot of crises in life. So if I could leave you with something, pretty simple. Of course, you have your outer, your inner, and your core. But if you're not there yet, do yourself a favor. Get rid of your communication technology, buy yourself a ticket, and go visit yourself for a week. Get that spark going. Peace. Thank you.